At this time, Robert will do our invitation, and Mr. Pugh's going to do our pledge of allegiance. All stand, please.
If you would join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening, Lord. We're so thankful for this blessed day that you've given us. Thank you for watching over our families, watching over each of us. Father, we ask that we go into this meeting tonight, the things that are discussed here, reviewed here, or for the benefit of the city of Mount Pleasant and all its residents. We pray as we leave this building tonight, Father, that you continue to protect and watch over us and keep us safe. We give you thanks and praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Attention. Salute.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the minutes reflect that we have enough for a quorum at this time. Item number 3, approval of the agenda.
Mayor, I'll make a motion we approve the agenda.
That's right. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approval of the agenda? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, approval of minutes from prior meeting, October the 13th, 2020.
Make a motion to approve those minutes.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor of approval of the minutes? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 5, plat approvals. I'll leave this up to Robert here.
All right, I'd like to thank all the board members for being here tonight, all the people in the audience here. I know we do have the owner, Alex Seaman, Mr. Chet Rhodes from Rhodes Engineering, Mr. Carroll, I believe, from Carroll Surveying, are all present in the audience in regards to
Sugar Creek.
Sugar Creek, that's correct. So, as you all know, we've been submitted a final plat for the development of 49 residential lots in the Sugar Creek subdivision, located on 17.19 acres. 17.19 acres, identified on tax map 133, parcel 09, recorded to Register of Deeds office. We have reviewed this many times over. It's been before this board many times over. Tonight, we are here again on the final plat, understanding that there are many reviews that have taken place. There are a lot of issues that were dealt with and are currently being dealt with on the construction plans. Construction plans per our subdivision regs need approval before a final plat can receive approval, as you all know that. The construction plans have not been approved as it stands currently to date. We received a resubmittal. It was reviewed. The comments were turned back around, and you have it in your documentation there, dated, I think, the 9th. There's our return comments, and as you can see from Lowson Associates, the engineer, should be that one, and I think it's dated 11/9. Should be that one you have in your hand, Mr. Marshall, I believe.
This is from Rhodes. I had one from Rhodes. Yeah, I got it.
Here it is. Okay, so that is the latest comment, review with comments, and that was done. That was sent out today. So as you can see with those comments, there are still several unanswered issues. Now, speaking of what has been done so far, there have been items that have been addressed on the construction plans. It is a big, large section that we're dealing with. There are several items that still need to be addressed. As far as to constructability in the field, they are not up to standard, would deem them as such. So our recommendation, we have Will from Lowson Associates who is with us tonight. Our recommendation would not be for approval of the final plat as it sits due to construction documents not being incomplete, or they are incomplete at this point and do not answer all the concerns that we have, both dealing with utilities. You should have a printout as well from Heathcote and Davis that did an extensive review as well. So we have had Michael Black from Lowson Associates, and then Heathcote and Davis, 2 engineers, have reviewed these construction documents and consider them not constructible at this point. What is before you tonight is the final plat. The Planning Commission has no ruling on the construction plans. That is a review that takes place in-house. That's why we contract with people of expertise to take care of those issues. But once again, as it stands tonight, due to the comments, we as staff cannot recommend approval of the final plat, considering the existing issues that still remain with construction documents. There are parties here that would be willing to speak if the Planning Commission so deemed to hear them speak. I know the engineer is here, as well as the owner, as well as a representative from Lowe's. So if the Planning Commission has any questions or want to speak specifically or hear from those parties, they are present in the audience at this time.
Well, as chairman of this commission here, we have drug this thing out for about a year here and get nowhere on it and stuff, and we even come in here at a drop day deadline on this, and don't seem like they're getting anywhere close on it or anything, but don't know that any discussion is going to help the matter tonight. Is what we talked about in our previous meeting and stuff, but, you know, they're welcome to speak if they want to.
I'd like to.
And stuff, but, you know, we've heard the same story most of this commission has for the last 7 or 8 meetings in here and stuff. But Mr. Rhodes is more than welcome to speak at this time.
Before we speak, can I ask, how is this going to affect our flooding issue that we already have over that way?
Well, during intensive reviews and addresses by the engineer, still there are some things that need to take place. We have a south detention pond and a north detention pond that is going to be put in place when the construction starts. Our one of our main concerns is Section 3 will have sheet flow that needs to be dealt with, which is being addressed in the construction documents.
That's duly on the construction plans, though. That'd be something.
That's correct,
that's
yes.
completely separate from what we're going to do.
The final plat is only identifying lot specifications.
Oh, I understand
Yeah.
that, but I mean, with lot specifications and, you know, all of that, I'm still concerned about the flooding issue that we have.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think we need to add anything else to that, and I know that comes along later, but this is always a requirement out there, because I hadn't had a chance to really look at the new designs.
Yes, ma'am. Adding and doing it the right way can have a good effect.
Okay.
On the flip side of the coin, constructability in the field the wrong way can have a bad effect. So that's been one of our points of strong review in relation to stormwater drainage in and around that area. Now, I will speak on the behalf of the owner, and I know the owner has said this to me before. Section 1 and Section 2 were built by a previous developer. And in all truthfulness, at least one of those detention ponds should have already been in place, to be honest with you. Now, the owner, who is present here tonight, he has taken on the possible construction of both of those to help contain existing issues that you have. So that is to the benefit of the owner. It's still not correct. You know, there's detention that needs to take place. There's elevations that need to be corrected to make the flow right. But it is being addressed. I just did want the board to understand that the owner who is present has taken note of that. And he's taken that on as a responsibility. No bearing on the board's decision, of course, but I do want to express that the owner has taken on more than what's just in his development to address the stormwater issues.
And just so you know, I think you do know that we have been working very closely with the middle school. They understand they are a part of the problem for sure.
Yeah.
So we're working on that as well.
Yeah, and I know what, they got going on as far as that's concerned, but, I mean, right now, we got a whole city that was set it up by a flood issue that, is, I don't blame them, but I mean, I just don't want any more. Okay.
I hope that answers your question.
It did.
But in the construction documents and the review of that isn't addressed as well. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing else. If Mr. Rose wants to speak, he can.
Okay. I'll step away.
Just briefly, I'm not gonna be long at all. Can I take this off while I'm addressing this room?
Take it far enough away, you're okay. We can
Okay.
probably hear it better anyway.
Just wanted to say, at the end of the last meeting, they were left with 4 pages of comments from Los and no comments from Water and Sewer, but they were working on reviewing them. And we resubmitted to the state. We did get, since the last meeting, approval for the water plans from the state of Tennessee. So you have 2 of the 3 state approvals needed for this project done already. The NOI and the SWIP are approved. We do not have sewer approval, and this part of the process. The city's got a new manager for Public Works. They sent it out to their consultant, Heathcote Davis. The first comments we got back from Heathcote Davis were the 27th of October. We resubmitted November 4th. You can see their checklist here. Most of their items are not knocked off. There are a few remaining. But we've made significant progress. The comments that you just were told about, I received at 2:30 today, getting ready for this meeting. So I have not had a chance to address those, obviously. Some of them I have. The first one from Lois baffles me. It says the streets are not labeled. Their street names, you can look at what you got in front of you. The streets are labeled. I don't understand that comment. The rest of it I haven't looked at, but we have addressed a 4-page thing from Lowe's previously. We're getting down to getting all issues resolved because of everybody's concern about the stormwater. And I think that they're doing a good job with that, and the plans look good. You also need to understand, Section 1 was approved. This thing was 2 pages for the whole development. When Section 2 was approved, it was 7. We're at 26 pages on this set of construction plans, and we're down to under 24 comments. That's less than 1 comment a page. So please bear with us. I promise you we are making great progress. I hope Lois feels like the plans they got were a lot better than the previous, and the wastewater's here, so you can speak to your guys, but we are addressing your comments, and these construction plans will be ready. Mr. Carroll's here. He can speak to the plat. There were no comments on the plat. The plat hadn't. We got the deed restrictions done. Robert Dressing, an excellent attorney, you all know, did that. The plat matches what he wanted for the restrictions and deeds, so that issue is done. We have the address in Murray County on the plat and on our plans, so the addresses are assigned. I think we're at the very end here, so I wish you would, since I just got these comments this afternoon at 2:30, we'll have them back to the staff within a week, and then we can have those. I didn't know your process was you had to have construction plans before you can approve a plat. I came here to make the suggestion of this, since the plat had no comments, to approve the plat and leave the construction comments pending or approved condition on these items being addressed in staff's satisfaction. And the attorney can speak to that. A lot of cities will do that, where they approve things contingent on this, and you don't get your grading plan until you have that. We have a SWIP and NOI, so we can get a grading plan. We have the state permit, but we want to make sure you all are happy and all your staff are happy, and we do have these outstanding comments that you see. So
Mr. Rose, I got one question.
Yes, sir.
How long has this been before this board?
I would say we started working on about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and our first submittal was August of 2019. So it's been, you're correct in saying it's been several things. But in the process of that year, I've had 3 homeowners come to me with drainage issues, which we've dealt with one at a time, so we don't ignore what's going on. So I think there's significant improvement, and I think we're at the end where we just have this handful of comments to address here. So I would say bear with us and let us get approval here hopefully next month with these new comments that we have. Your staff, if we get this back to them within a few days, which we should be able to, hopefully they won't wait until the day of the meeting to give me these again. And and we know that we're done
And you
before.
can't, don't shuffle this all towards the staff and everything.
I'm not shuffling towards the staff.
I think they worked hard at trying to do the right thing on
Sure.
this and everything, and been pretty lenient with you, some things, and,
Well, I think we've worked extremely hard to get these early. We submitted them October 9th. 8 pages of comments were addressed. We got it back the 23rd, and you gotta realize there's multiple people reviewing this. There's different agencies, there's Lois and Associates reviewing grading and water and sewer by somebody else. So we've got multiple people involved, and, we're taking care of them. So I understand that, and my client, believe me, is as frustrated as you are, so we are doing all we can to get this done. So, I think we're there.
The city's absorbed a lot of costs and man-hours on this too, right here.
Yes, sir. Well, appreciate your consideration. I know y'all have to think about this, but I would just say we want to have these, we will address this. We're not arguing with staff comments. So I think you know where you stand. I'll let my client speak, and he can say anything he would like.
I would like to.
Mr. Carroll's here if you have questions on the plat. There was no comments that I know of on the plat from me.
I would like to hear from Will at this time, please.
I think Robert did a good job overviewing our concerns. I believe you've got Michael Black's comments for you to review as well. It boils down to procedure and constructability from our point of view. Michael Black, experienced engineer, designs neighborhoods on a regular basis. It's a big part of our workload as well. He's very knowledgeable in this. He's identified some very specific areas of concern for the current set of plans. In terms of approving the final plat, you can approve the final plat if the construction drawings are substantively approved. We're not to that point yet with the manner and number of comments that are left to address. That's where we are.
Very good. I appreciate it.
We did turn around the comments as soon as we could. We received the revised set last Thursday. I believe that was a bit beyond the standard deadline, but we tried to review as soon as we can. So understand, hate dropping comments on someone the day of the meeting, but we try to get it back to them.
Very good.
Any other questions?
Any questions?
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Just a point of clarification for the board. Okay, so there's multiple reviews for this particular plant right now, this time around for this month. All right. So initially, we received the plat from Mr. Rhodes. We provided comments. Comments were then sent back to us a couple of days late in the replies. This is the second set of comments for this month. It's not the first. I just want to clarify to the board, this is not the first set of comments for this month. So, this is the second set that's been provided. So, I just want to clarify that.
All right.
Yes, to clarify that, we submitted on October 9th early, so we could try to avoid this. And we went through a cycle with a second round of comments. So we weren't late submitting. We were after the deadline on the second one when they gave them October 22nd, 7th back to us. So we submitted early, but in addressing their final round, we were on November 4th back to them, October 27th to us. So we were very quick on our turn. I just want you to understand.
I mean, there's nothing else from the staff in reference to that, unless y'all did want to specifically speak to anybody else in regards.
I don't have any questions for anybody. The board here.
Corey, input.
That's you, Corey. You have any input on this?
You're on mute.
My only comment would be, if you are going to entertain a deferral, my preference for from a procedural perspective would be to not set a date certain when they have to be back on the agenda, but to say it will go back on defer it until the construction plans are completed, and all the comments are addressed, and then put the site plan review back on the agenda at that time. That would avoid having this scenario happen over and over again. If if we know the construction plans are completed and the staff, all the comments have been addressed, then the site plan could come back before this planning commission and you wouldn't have this issue.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
I just want to reiterate that what Corey was speaking of, construction documents being reviewed substantially enough to present an opportunity to get it back before the board is the way, that's what the situation is. Okay.
I hear a motion on this.
Well, I'll make a motion that we defer this site plan until, like Cory said, until all the construction plans are all approved by Robert, good to go, and then
I have a motion
bring it back.
to defer the plan. Ended on the site, the construction site.
You got to make a motion.
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
You second it?
Yeah.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
No.
No.
So,
You want a roll call here?
who made the motion? Jennifer? Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Okay.
Granberry seconded it.
Granberry seconded it. Okay. Please roll call on that, Chairman.
Okay, we have a roll call this time.
Ms. Granberry?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay. Mr. Pugh?
Aye.
Mr. Marshall?
No, and the reason I'm voting no, I just think it's a lot of issues that's been drug out on this, and don't feel comfortable at the time voting for it.
Ms. Graham? Aye. Mr. Hunter?
No.
3-2, motion carried.
And the original motion was defer until construction plans are approved by staff and then represented to the board.
Pretty much exactly what Cory recommended.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. We'll move on, number 6, rezoning request.
There are none, Chairman.
Number 7, annexation request.
There are none.
Number 8, I'll leave this one to you.
Okay. So applicant, GCP Applied Technology on Magnolia Drive, or Canaan Road. Magnolia Drive is behind them. And contractor Everest Construction requesting a site plan approval for future construction of a, I think this is a typo, I think it's 31,000 and some odd square feet, if I'm not mistaken.
Around 30,450 square feet.
Okay, so I was right, 30,450 square foot addition to their existing facility, at, 350 Magnolia. Property, is registered Murray County and identified on tax map parcel, tax map 127 parcel 2503. Recorded deed book R2353, page 656. This is a 30,450 square foot addition, that GCP, is wanting site plan approval for. The extension will be towards our main street, on that side of the building there. It is for warehousing purposes. They will have that building connected during construction to the existing facility. The site plan that is before you tonight has comments as well.
Where's the location again?
I'm sorry?
Where's the location?
350 Magnolia Drive.
Okay.
Right at Canaan in North Main, the big industry that's there. off
They're putting that on the building
between
pad
Magnolia
there
and
now,
Canaan,
ain't it?
GCP product.
They left the building pad.
Should be, yes, sir. But where they had that wing wall out. Yes, sir, on that side.
Thank you.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay. There were some comments that were sent in relation to the site plan, and they have been reviewed, and the majority of them have been addressed by Mr. Edmonds, who is the engineer of record on this particular project. The comments,
I got them here somewhere.
yes, sir, Tuesday, October 27th. The only one that we did get this plan in just a little bit late, so we put a fast track on and try to get it reviewed as soon as possible. But Michael Black, the engineer, who supplied the majority of the comments, hasn't had a full chance to give it, full attention for review. But we have in-house and noticed that a lot of the items were addressed. There is one that still remains, and it's on page 2 of those comments, his reply back. Number 4, it's in the second section, sheet 4 of 7. The detention ponds should be designed to serve as temporary sediment basin or sediment trap during construction phase per TDEC requirements. The comment reply back from Mr. Evans was not required because project site is less than 10 acres. He references construction general permit document from TDEC. So this is just one that we want to make sure that our engineer of record has an opportunity to review that. So staff is suggesting, or our comments would be this as such, that approval can be considered by the board tonight based off what we received back as a resubmittal, on the condition that Mr. Black from Lowson Associates is satisfied with the replies to the comments, the existing comments. That would be our suggestion from staff. Mr. Hager is once again here to speak to that. They have addressed substantially the comments that we sent out to them. There's just we just want to make sure Mr. Black gets input, has an opportunity to review it full. But our suggestion would be for an approval from the board.
Very good.
Based off of this. And we do have Mr. Evers, who is here, Evers Construction, and Mr. Edmonds, engineer of record. So if you have any questions or anything of either one of those parties, I'm sure they would be more than happy to answer or talk about the project.
Any questions from staff? Do I hear a motion to approve the site plan approval request?
I'll make a motion we approve it contingent upon the report from Michael Black being satisfactory.
Do I have a motion?
I'll second.
And a second. Do a roll call on this, please.
Ms. Granberry?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Mr. Pugh?
Yes.
Mr. Marshall?
Yes.
Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Hunter?
Yes.
All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
Number 9, old business.
There is none.
Number 10, other business.
None.
11, board and staff comment.
I'd just like to thank the board for being present here tonight.
And no one signed up for citizens' comments, so. Here tonight. Number 13, adjournment. I hear a motion.
So moved.
Right.
Second.
Aye.